Hello, this is the Montrose Makerspace today for Sunday, March the 22nd, 2015. Two activities happened over there today. At 2 o'clock, all of our volunteers came in to kind of start with the first of our pre-open push volunteer workshops. And so there's going to be 4 of these workshops. And we sent out an email last week requesting people come in and help us get these last details worked out. And so at 2 o'clock, Chuck and Susan, Pete, Kern, Tim, Andy, Spencer, myself, and Al were in our meeting room, and we pretty much discussed what needed to happen. And so those 3 things that we kind of called for help for are the facility safety aspects. You know, what do we need to do to get the doors open and keep the place safe? Then we have the basic operation safety instruction for the various tools that we have. And the final one is the volunteer management, and as well as kind of creating a network of monitors who are going to come in on a volunteer basis and man the facility so that the makers can come in and work in a safe manner. So about 2 o'clock, they came in. We kind of talked in generalities for about an hour. And I said, okay, well, you kind of know what's on the table. What would you like to kind of cover? And based on all their experiences, they kind of looked at the basic operations safety classes, the instruction for the first 6 classes that we're going to go actually offer right from day one. And those first 6 are introduction to workshop or introduction to the makerspace. And that's a general safety class, as well as membership kind of information, code of conduct, general and safety instruction. That's called I-100. Everyone's going to take that. And then from there, we're going to have woodworking tools, sheet metal tools, the MIG welding, 3D cutter, and the 3D printer. So that's 6 classes we're going to have right off the bat so that people can use the tools we have with the membership. And then as we grow, and we get more people to help out in creating the content for all the rest of the equipment we have, then we'll offer classes for that, and then we'll release that machine into the space for use by the makers. So that went on for an hour, and around 3 o'clock, I kind of backed away from this group and got to see, kind of turned it over to Chuck actually, and Chuck worked with all these people, and they kind of figured out what their plan was going to be, who was going to do what, and they kind of got their marching orders, and we ended up, Kern came in at the end and kind of talked about their commitment and trying to put it, and they, requested that they put a time frame on their work, and they all agreed that next Sunday would be a good time to meet again. So on Sunday next week at 2 p.m., we're going to have a hangout on the air to discuss where they are, because Tim actually came in from Crested Butte. He heard about it, never took a tour, just came in. He said, I'm ready to help. And he came in to find out what's going on. And he's really excited about it. He's going to become a member, even though he lives in Crested Butte. That's a 2-hour drive for him, but what he sees the potential for this being is enough for him to come down. So next Sunday at 2 o'clock, the 2 o'clock time we'll get a hangout on the air, and if you want to participate via that mechanism, that'd be great. We'd encourage you to come in and meet the other members of the makerspace. So that 4 o'clock, we went out into the shop, and Rob had been out there working with some equipment, and so we sat kind of behind the scenes, and I kind of explained what Rob was trying to do, and I'll just show you a little bit of what he was working on. There are YouTube videos for what Rob had been doing today. He basically came in this morning, took the surface table, which is a granite top table, mounted a robot arm onto it, and then he's been programming it. He took about 2 or 3 hours to kind of program this robot to pick shafts out of a stock area and put it in the robot. The robot would do the machining, and then you pull it out and grab another one and put it back in. So I'll show you a little bit of the kind of give you a sense of what he was doing today, and then I'll come back and talk about that in a minute. So see if this is going to work. It wasn't. Yeah, here we go.
So I'm here at the Makerspace at Houck Engineering, and we are watching this UR5 robot load the TL1 tool room lathe. And it's going to do some machining here. We're actually doing some alignment and programming. So it removes the stock from our feed bin, puts it in, the lathe gets it lined up. We have a couple of...
So what you can see here is that robot is coming around, picking that part out, shoving it into the chuck. Then it sends a signal over to the CNC controller on the lathe, and the lathe does the actual getting the part at the right location to do the machining, clamps down on the part, and then actually does the operations. Now, what we are showing here is the actual test run of the robot part of that. The machining part isn't actually in the code yet, but that's going to happen rather quickly. Houck Engineering wants to run about 200 of those arms, and they just like to load up this magazine of stock and have the robot kind of run that basically overnight. And what it's going to do is dramatically increase their productivity at Houck Engineering. It's going to give their humans over there more time to actually to find more work and take advantage of technology. So two things really going on over there today. The first one is we got to see, when we have a call for support from the community and from our potential members, please come help us. We really got a lot accomplished today. And I was excited to hear the enthusiasm of all the people that were in the group today about their ideas on how to create this content for the basic operations safety classes. And they just basically went off and said, yeah, we'll get that done. So that's a huge part for that. And we applaud them to come down and helping us and taking their time to actually become a member and contribute to the Makerspace movement. The other thing that was really, that was kind of critical from a technology standpoint is, most Makerspaces start out with a 3D printer and they teach Arduino programming and they have woodworking tools. That robot is a state-of-the-art production machine that you would probably see somewhere, in a very large city. Not in Montrose, Colorado, but that is over there. It's a purchased piece of equipment that Houck Engineering bought. It's very simple to learn how to program. The instruction manual for that, the entire thing is about 25 pages. I started looking through it and I just kind of put it down and said, no, I don't want to play with that thing. I have a lot of things to do, and learning how to program the robot is not one of them just yet. But I came home and I watched a bunch of these YouTube videos. It's called a Universal Robots UR5. If you go on YouTube at all and look at some of those things that this thing is doing, it's quite remarkable what that little robot is capable of doing. And so if you want to stay abreast of technology, clearly come into Makerspace and get to see how things are manufactured all around the world. This is Montrose Makerspace today for March the 22nd, 2015. We'll see you tomorrow.